सुभान अल्लाह, बड़े मियां छोटे मियां, सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह,
सुभान अल्लाह,
बड़े मियां छोटे मियां,
सुभान अल्लाह.
Hello and namaskar viewers. Welcome to the Bade Miyaan, Chhote Miyaan show, the show that you look forward to listen to or to watch to, because this is a show that brings a complete different angle on each and every single story. We try to bring in humor, we try to bring in a sarcastic conversation into this show, and we pick on the stories that you may have missed. I am Bade Miyaan and I'm joined by one and only Chhote Miyaan. Chhote Miyaan, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Chhote Miyaan reporting.
Chhote Miyaan reporting. Chhote Miyaan Hazir Ho. This is the show that, like I say, the Bade Miyaan, Chhote Miyaan, where mindless chatter matters. So, you know, I don't know. Nowadays, I think mindless chatter should matter because nobody does mindless chatter, you know. So that's why we have picked this title, because our chatter are mindless, but देखने जाओ
It matters.
It matters.
Yes. क्योंकि problem पता है क्या है बड़े मियाँ? Everybody now has opinion and now there are venues for them to vent their anger and their opinions. So that, like you said, the mindless बैठ के दोनों बातें कर रहे हैं.
That's it.
That has gone. Now everybody wants their opinion to be out there in the world. X पे लिखेंगे, Instagram पे लिखेंगे, TikTok पे लिखेंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे. Now because everybody has a mic now.
बिल्कुल.
Colloquially
Everybody,
speaking, you know?
well, everybody has a platform to voice their opinion, whether it's a mic, whether it's a social media or anything. Anyway, folks, once again, this is Bade Miyaan, Chhote Miyaan, where mindless chatter matters. The show is brought to you by Navya Entertainment. Shadi party ya haldi night, Navya Entertainment just makes it right.
And their DJs are bright, man. They are super tight.
Complete full-fledged entertainment system, DJ, music, and much more at Navya Entertainment. We thank Navya Entertainment for sponsoring the show. To reach us, Bade Miyaan, Chhote Miyaan, you can definitely reach us because we are human, just like you. Who says we are not reachable? Of course,
And
we are
if you would
reachable.
like for us to talk about something, you can do that too. You can just send it to bmcmpodcast@gmail.com.
And make sure it's a mindful story which will turn into mindless.
Exactly. He's full of it. I'm less of it.
There you go. So try to send in your mindful story, which we will make it a mindless story. But in our chatter, that's what it matters. You can reach us at bmcmpodcast@gmail.com. That's our email ID. Follow us on Instagram, Poormen Productions, that you see. It's a Poormen Productions and BMCM Podcast. And our YouTube channel is Poormen Productions. These are the platforms that you can reach us. But Chhote Miyaan.
जी बोलिए.
Chhote Miyaan, you know, they said this was going to be the wedding of the century. I'm not sure if this is going to be the wedding of the century because, you know, this was planned in a way that this would become wedding of the century. But then all the stories coming out of the 3 days wedding festivities.
It was 7 days wedding
well,
festival.
mainly 3 days. Three days with the
wh-
guests.
which wedding are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about Jeff Bezos and Lauren
Oh,
Sanchez.
I thought you were
Let's
going with
talk
the
about that
Ambani.
one first. Then we'll compare to Ambani wedding. But let's talk about this one.
Sure.
Well, actually, compared to Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez wedding, I think Ambani wedding was the wedding of century.
Right.
But anyway, Jeff Bezos, being one of the richest guys in the world, who actually left Amazon in 2021, right? So he's called Amazon founder, but he has no role to play in Amazon, and he's worth $200 billion at the time. So this wedding was planned in Italy, 3-day wedding, and who's who of America's, you know, entertainment industry and the socialist and entrepreneurs, they were all invited to attend this wedding in Venice, which lasted 3 days. And it was called, it could be wedding of the century because reportedly they spent over $55 million. But Chhote Miyaan,
No, I have a point.
ji,
He spent $55 million on the wedding. How much taxes did he pay last year?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll
Almost
find out.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have the money to rent an entire city, it's all right to pay your taxes.
But anyway, here's my thing. Here's my thing, right? Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, they got married. First of all, congratulations to them, and may your married life bring so much happiness and so much love and forever togetherness in your life.
And maybe this new wife's hobby will start a new business for Jeff Bezos.
Possibly.
Because the first one
yes.
was the one
Yeah.
that got inspired the Amazon.
From Amazon. The first one, Scott McKinsey.
Right.
That was his first wife, right? So this one could become LaurenAmazon.com, something like that. But here's my thing. Here you have world's one of the richest men, worth $200 billion plus dollars, right? This is his second wedding, right? And then you have Lauren Sanchez. This is her third wedding, and in between that, she has dated multiple individuals, sports personalities, entertainment personalities, and everything. And somehow Jeff Bezos found so much love in her because she was a TV reporter. She also has a license to fly helicopter and everything, and she had her own production company also. So and so forth. Somehow Jeff Bezos found love in her. She divorced Scott McKinsey, his first wife, and now he married to her. So you have this world's richest man, and then this Lauren Sanchez marries, and before a month before the wedding date, they signed a prenup agreement.
Of course.
So my question is, where is love? When the money gets involved, what's more important, love or money nowadays?
Your first love, getting married, is a completely different thing. This is business now. When you're marrying, it's at least for Jeff Bezos, when you're marrying a plastic, you have to make sure that your money is secure. This woman looks like plastic.
It is a plastic. Somewhere, if we can, if our producer can find a image of it, that how she looked before the marriage or a couple of years ago, and how she looks now, you could definitely tell it's a plastic and Botox and everything that you can come up with in this world, whatever it is.
Right.
But he found love in her, So when you find love in a person, nothing matters. But then prenup agreement, this is, then there's no love. But you're right, this is a business.
Chris Rock said the best. When you are a bus driver making $10,000 a year, you don't need a prenup. Because what is she going to take? 5? But in his case...
But if you're making $100 million a year, you need a prenup. So that way he knows that she could walk away someday with hundreds of millions of dollars.
Of course.
And still you would share a bed with her?
Well, I don't want to go there, but yes, of course.
Anyway, so let's talk about this wedding, right? This was attended by Kim Kardashians and Oprah Winfrey and everything. They had invited Lady Gaga and Elton John, and first Jeff Bezos asked them that how much would you charge to perform. They asked for $3 million each, and Lady Gaga asked for a little bit more, something like that, and Jeff Bezos denied it. So person who spends $60 million in a wedding and does not want to have Lady Gaga and Elton John perform for $6 million. Otherwise, it would have made reception very wonderful.
So, okay, now are we talking about price versus value?
We were talking several things. This is one.
What I'm saying is,
yes.
So if Jeff Bezos thought performance of this person would be good, but 6 billion or 6 million is it's not.
It's a drop in a bucket.
The return on investment is not making sense to him, because let's say if Elton John, instead of saying 3 million, had said 1.5 million, he would have said yes.
Why would he say 1.5 million to world's one of the richest men? Come on, that adds value to it.
I understand that, but
I think
it works both ways, right? He can ask whatever he wants to ask for, and he can say, I'm only going to pay this much, and if you don't want to, then it's fine.
To me, I think after all these wedding things and everything, all the stories come out, and we're going to touch upon some of the stories. To me, Jeff Bezos come out as what do they say, that pound foolish, penny wise?
Parsimonious he is.
Parsimonious. No, but what's that saying in the pound foolish, penny wise?
Yeah, penny wise and pound foolish.
Penny wise and pound foolish. Anyway, so they denied it. Now, return gift. When we go to attend a wedding, normally, the couple, usually give a really nice return gift because they want to make it memorable. And if it's an elaborate wedding, and mind you, Indian weddings have become now big, very large in their canvas, and everything else, 2-3 days celebration, destination wedding, music, and everything else, right? In this return gift, you know what was that? Jeff Bezos gave his male invitees a velvet slipper. And Lauren Sanchez gave the ladies a goodie bag with Amazon slides in it.
Brilliant.
Brilliant!
Yeah.
Velvet slippers, blue color velvet slippers.
Yeah. It serves
Okay,
you right.
let me ask you a question. What would be the reason behind that?
It just says you guys are nothing. and I'm not spending.
So earlier I said
penny.
Earlier I said penny wise, pound foolish.
Yeah.
This is what I call a stupidity. Is this what you give? Lauren gives Amazon slides, giving an indication that there might be in the future Lauren Amazon or something like that coming up.
All right, possibly.
Okay, so there you go, and all the other stories coming out because those Italians in the Venice, they were very upset because apparently Jeff Bezos had an entire city on the move,
Yeah.
and all those guests and hotel rooms booked and everything, and the Italians in Venice had put on a sign protesting this wedding and say Jeff Bezos go away, this and that and blah blah blah. But apparently,
Yeah, because their life was interrupted for 4 days.
absolutely 4 days, more than that. 4 days was the wedding festivities,
actual-
more than that.
Right.
Absolutely, with all the security and the guys going around. Some of the roads closed, some of the restaurants.
And
closed
Venice is a very
everything.
complicated city. You know, it's like you just have to go through these little canals to.
And I'm sure that he must have given a lot of money to Venice.
Of course,
Venice
of course,
Municipal.
of course.
Comedian Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie
Yep.
O'Donnell
Mhm.
had her own show, and she is one person speaks her mind, no matter what. Right or wrong, she gives her opinion. She said that this was just a disaster. This, $65 million wedding, and it was disaster. He didn't have to do that, even though he's not part of Amazon anymore. But the way Amazon employees are treated, as you know, in the stories that all come out, because union, non-union, and working conditions in Amazon's many facilities throughout the country, it says this is completely unfair, completely foolish, and stuff like that. She blasted the whole wedding thing, left and right, Rosie O'Donnell. And the more stories are coming out. Lauren Sanchez, she didn't invite her mother and one of her brothers. Her own mother.
That is strange.
And her own mother wasn't invited, and one of her brothers, because one of her brothers, I believe his first name is Patrick, and he's the one, when Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, when they were dating, he's the one who had sold their stories and some of the pictures to one of those gossip magazines for some $250,000.
Yeah,
And
a
that's
lot
why-
of tabloids do that.
Yeah, that's why Lauren was upset. She and her mother are not on the good terms. That's why she wasn't invited. But Lauren Sanchez's ex-husband, Tony Gonzalez, the football superstar, he was invited with his wife, and they shared a kid. I think Nico. That's his son's name. That's their son's name. Tony Gonzalez and Lauren. They were invited, but her own mother and one of her brothers were not invited.
Well,
And of course, Jeff Bezos' first wife, Scott McKenzie, wasn't there, but his children were there.
this showing of wealth has gone to people's head.
Okay.
Same thing is happening in India. The weddings are just so elaborate.
But now let's weddings are so elaborate. I agree. Now let's talk about Ambani wedding. Sorry. Adani wedding, did you know that? Adani's son got married, and what they did, no fuss, no publicity, nothing. They donated some crores of rupees, let's say millions of dollars, to underprivileged individuals. Garib log
That's-
jo hote
yeah,
hai,
that's a
padhai
good thing to
karte,
do, right?
without making any fuss over it. Now let's talk about Ambani wedding. Ambani wedding was a lavish wedding, of course. My point is, spend so much money, wedding festivities in one place, destination wedding in Italy and here and there, whatever it is in India.
that
and
lasted a whole month.
that lasted a whole month, but they put a city like Jamnagar in the world map when you had Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and who's who of the corporate world and entertainment world and even top list, A-list entertainers performing at their wedding, right? They spend money, but they also gave a chance to local vendors to make money that they would not perhaps have made in their lifetime. Meaning they spend money, but they also distributed money in a one or the other way that helped a local Heyman's economy. That's why I said Ambani's wedding, lavish wedding, show off of wealth, whatever you call that. But even smallest vendor, a tea guy, a chai wala from Mumbai, they invited him to come to Jamnagar and make his special way of making tea, where Bill Gates was, was with him at the tea stall and having that chai. So my point is, गरीब लोगों को उन्होंने इतना वो support किया कि भाई तुम भी पैसे कमाओ, हमारे पास पैसे, let's do it. I didn't see that in Jeff Bezos' wedding.
Right. Or even in his giving and gifts and all of that,
Yes.
he turned out to be a miser.
Exactly. Slippers? Are you kidding me? $20 slippers on a $60 million wedding?
You don't know how much the slippers cost.
Okay.
Right.
$200.
भाई मैं जब लेने जाता हूँ मेरे को $3 में मिलते हैं जब जेफ बीजोस लेने जाता है उसको $3,000 में मिलते हैं
क्या बात करते हो यार? Anyway.
फर्क पड़ता है यार.
No, anyway, so that is the story, folks. I don't know if you have any comments about this story, Jeff Bezos and Lawrence Sanchez's wedding. Please let us know. We would love to have your opinion. bmcmpodcast@gmail.com. That's our email ID. Follow us on Instagram, Poormen Productions and BMCM. Underscore, what do you call it? Underscore podcast. BMCM underscore podcast. All right, maybe you'll see it on a screen if we have enough money to put that on a screen, but we'll see. We work on a tight budget, Poor Men Production. So and our YouTube channel is Poor Men Production. So reach out to us and let us know. Let's talk about another unusual story. Think about this. This gentleman in Texas, okay, name is Ismail. ISMAEL. No, Ismail में आई आता है मेरे भाई.
नहीं आता है.
Ismail में आई आता है.
Ismail.
Anyway, Chhote Miyaan and I differ into this. मेरे ख्याल से Ismail में आई आता है. ये Ismail है.
In Yiddish or in Jewish faith, they call it Ishmael.
Ishmael. Okay, fine. Chalo.
Right.
I buy that. Ismail, last name Lara. All right, so this guy, apparently he's into real estate business, something like that, what I heard. Him and his brother, they bought a Boeing 727, a full-fledged Boeing aircraft for $10,000.
But that wasn't working.
That wasn't working.
Yeah,
it was sitting in a hangar for years. And because the hangar, the company which owned it, aviation company, went bankrupt, or the owner of the company died, not bankrupt, but the owner of the company died. They couldn't pay their rent, and that's why they got it in auction.
The plane was built in 1966.
Yes.
So almost 60-year-old flight, in plane rather.
Okay.
And what he wants to do, he thought, अगर 10,000 में मिल रहा है तो ले लेते हैं. They have a lot of space in El Paso, according to what I read. And so now what he wants to, he keeps posting this on his Facebook. Should I make this into a diner? Should I make this into an Airbnb? Should I make this into a coffee shop? This and that. But it's a brilliant idea, actually, when you think about it.
What kind of suggestion you would give to him? What should he do with it?
I like the Airbnb idea.
Really?
Yeah. Because in
Airbnb, the folks would rent out the entire Boeing? Or just you make it a part
so you compartmentalize it and make it like 3 or 4 spaces with.
But then you would have to build so many restrooms and showers and everything.
No, a plane already has it, right? All you have to do is connect them.
Okay, but plane already has, 1 or 2, 3.
Four of those, right? Yeah, so if you made 6 apartments or spaces in it, but
the Airbnb guest would not have that much privacy or freedom, because then next door somebody is renting there.
But that's the idea, right?
No, usually they want privacy. If it's a one house, they want to have independence. They want to have their own freedom.
This could be for the kinky Airbnb.
Okay, so let's just say Bade Miyaan rejects that suggestion. Go to the next one.
The next obvious one would be the restaurant, because it's easier.
Restaurant is nice.
Yeah, because they have space that they can allocate for kitchen area.
In my
And then-
that's a good idea. I can go with it, but I think with the restaurant, what should they do is like maybe half of the Boeing is restaurant and half of it they should make it a museum, and have the
museum
history,
is actually a very good idea.
history of aviation and the pilots in that. So that way people would come look at the museum and then have their coffee. And this is a Texas,
Yeah.
so they gotta have steak and everything else. Right?
Right.
But I think make it nice museum out there.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
that would, and you charge entrance fee for that.
Right.
But put on a really history. Right now, let's say if you really want to look at aviation history or something, you would have to go to particular museum to check
And
it
then
out.
you know what they should do? The two huge propellers,
Hmm.
they should make that into a target,
Hmm.
have a scaffolding built, and people with guns in Texas
Yeah.
can shoot the plane.
There you go.
It's
There you
bullseye.
go. That would be nice.
That would be brilliant.
That would be
actually.
nice.
Should
that,
be
that would be awesome, man. So this, I find this story very interesting that this guy decides to buy. I mean, who buys the Boeing 727 for $10,000?
I think the problem must have been you bought it for 10,000.
Yes.
Now moving it from there to
$250,000
wherever you.
dollars at the end of the day.
How much was it?
$250,000 they're going to spend. Everything. Because they are moving in the pieces, right? They broke it down. Oh, another story. Right there, something came to my mind. When they were actually dismantling it, because you can't just take an entire plane on a highway and go to another street, right? Apparently, one of the doors would not open. Chhote Miyaan, one of the doors would not open. They had to pry the door and everything else. When they did it, they found fuel tanks filled with the fuel for 21 years.
Wow.
They called the Boeing, this gentleman, Ismail Lara, called the Boeing and say, gentlemen, you had a bomb there. This was a bomb. 2 tanks, and this is Boeing we're talking about, right? Think about capacity. Maybe
727, yeah.
yeah,
that's a huge
thousands of
plane.
liters or gallons, whatever you want to call that. Fuel 20 years old. Imagine one little spark in that.
Oh boy. That would have been some fireworks.
Yeah, and they had to bear all the cost. And they said, fine, at the end of the day, their projection was it would cost $250,000 just to set it up, do whatever that they want to park it and everything else. But finally, maybe they're going to have a restaurant open up or something like that. But I think it's a nice story, you know.
It is actually, this story is what entrepreneurship is all about. Right now, what most people are doing is using AI to start their business, sitting in their living room, their bedroom, in their basement, and then coming up with ideas. And most ideas are just online businesses, right?
Right.
This is now true entrepreneurship. It's like, okay. And when I was doing the research on this, I found out it wasn't even Brian. I was going to say Brian Lara, but Ishmael Lara. It wasn't his idea, actually. His brother
came up with the thought, yes.
saw this and suggested
Yes.
something, and then he thought, okay, this is pretty cool. So it's not just Ishmael Lara, 2 brothers from El Paso are doing this. So
Now,
it's
okay,
brilliant.
restaurant, everything is a good idea. Museum is a good idea. What if they just make it their house in there?
To construct for a house. Because, see,
If you're renting it to Airbnb,
no, that's what I was. My next sentence was going to be that, because if it is temporary, as in for 1 night or 2 nights, it's okay. But living your entire life in that space is not conducive. See,
vacation home.
That's why I think vacation home is a good idea. But otherwise, museum is a brilliant idea, and a restaurant, because people who come in that confined
that.
space are done within an hour.
Okay, so
You
then
know.
they could have vacation home, some part of it for themselves.
Yeah, that they can do.
Imagine the mail goes out to them from the post office. Ismail Lara, Boeing 727.
El Paso, Texas.
El Paso, Texas. Imagine that,
That's
man.
it.
How cool that would be.
Awesome.
This is their, whatever the area is, hangar, whatever it is, whatever the open lot is, right? And then it would be Ismail Lara, Boeing 727, this and that, El Paso, Texas. I think that's a good
I
idea.
know.
But I think they should really make it their own little apartment.
That's
and
true.
then a restaurant and
That-
everything. But
that's
restaurant would be good.
Should we wrap it up?
Should we take a ride if they really set up a restaurant over there someday?
Yeah, what we'll do is
Hmm.
we'll first do some research here locally in New Jersey. And if we can find a bicycle that is 6-year-old, then we should buy that for $30. get it fixed for another $30, and then we pillion ride, bicycle riding all the way to El Paso.
That is a brilliant idea. This is what Chhote Miyaan is all about. जो आपकी सोच जहाँ पे खत्म होती है ना, उसकी सोच शुरू होती है. That's what makes Chhote Miyaan the Chhote Miyaan.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
What?
Going on, two of us
I know,
on a
man,
bicycle.
on a pillion ride. That's right.
Yeah.
So we just have to let our producer know so he can start having
He can have the cameras.
on the bikes, in the front, in the back, on the sides, and everything to film everything up.
It'll take us at least a month or two
Okay.
to get there, right? It's 1,000 miles.
Yes.
Let's say.
Yeah.
Will it be New Jersey to Texas?
I think more than 1,000 miles.
How many? The 1,500 miles.
1,500 is good number.
Okay, so if we can ride 100 miles a day,
Hmm.
it'll take us 150 days to get there. No, 15 days to get there.
Correct.
All right. So
That actually exactly justifies what we call Poormen productions.
there you go.
Because we are poor, this is all we can do. Thank God that he didn't say that we're going to walk. We're gonna,
dude, seriously.
uh,
When they announce that this is when we are opening,
We'll go there.
we should start backtrack it 1 month and start our bicycle ride from
exactly.
here. And we should attend the opening.
All right. So now your task is, till next show, is to get in touch with Ismail Lara.
Okay.
And then figure out that what he wants to
Give
do.
me 1
with
second.
it. Huh. Anyway, folks.
Hello, Ismail bhai. कैसे हो भाई?
अभी
नहीं,
मैं
वो
बिजी
आगे
हूँ
की
बाद में
सोच
फोन करो अभी मैं बिजी हूँ बाद में फोन करो I'm about to buy another Boeing now. I like this business, man. So I'm reaching out to other hangars, and whoever hasn't paid the hangar rent, I'm going to go and get another Boeing. Anyway, folks, that's what Bade Miyaan, Chhote Miyaan show is. As you know, that where mindless chatter matters, and that's why we bring in this stories, humorous stories. And you're most welcome to share your story. You can always do that at bmcmpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, Poormen Productions, and bmcm_podcast. Remember that.
Let me underscore the whole thing.
Yes.
The actual email address is bmcmpodcast@gmail.com, and the podcast itself is bmcm_podcast.
Exactly. The actual Gmail is. Let me say it also. bmcmpodcast@gmail.com. That's actual email. And Instagram is actual bmcm_podcast. Any comments? What's our YouTube channel? Poormen Production.
Poormen Production.
Exactly. All right, folks. We
And
thank.
also, do not forget to subscribe and घंटी बजा देना बॉस, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होता है. और ये भी याद रखने का कि it is not a man, it is men. So it is MEN.
MEN,
जरा
exactly.
देख लेना when you
Men.
search for it. Okay.
Bade Miyaan, Chhote Miyaan are men, powerful men. All right, this is a segment called AMA, Ask Me Anything. And that's why I'm requesting you to contact us at the above information that I gave you. We thank Navya Entertainment for proudly sponsoring our shows. Thank you so very much, folks at Navya Entertainment. Shadi party या हल्दी नाइट. शादी पार्टी या हल्दी नाइट. हल्दी नाइट में बहुत मजा आता है, पता है ना?
हल्दी नाइट में होता क्या पता है?
हाँ.
नहीं, सीरियसली.
नहीं, क्या होता है?
दूध लेते हैं,
हाँ.
दूध में हल्दी डालते हैं. By the time that melts,
हाँ.
Instagram people
हाँ.
ग्लास में पानी लेते हैं,
हाँ.
फिर उसके नीचे लाइट रखते हैं, आईफोन वाला, फिर उसके ऊपर से हल्दी डालते हैं, फिर उसका जो इम्पैक्ट आता है ना, वो देखते हैं, उसको शूट करते हैं, फिर दूध पीते हैं, घर जाके सो जाते हैं. That is the haldi night.
That is haldi night. क्या बात है. उसको केसर मिल्क कहते हैं, गोल्डन मिल्क कहते हैं उसको.
मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आता.
हाँ, वैसे भी आपको वैसे भी बहुत सारी चीजें समझ में नहीं आती.
हल्दी नाइट में लोग येलो कपड़े क्यों पहनते हैं?
तो मैचेस विद द कलर ऑफ हल्दी.
मैच नहीं करना ना, कॉन्ट्रास्ट करना.
नहीं तो
तभी तो जाके दिखेगी
पर
हल्दी.
हर एक का दिमाग छोटे मियाँ जैसा नहीं होता ना.
हल्दी दिखेगी कैसे वरना?
ये सब हल्दी ही देखते हैं, वो जो होती है ना, वो सब हल्दी आई. ये हल्दी है, वो हल्दियाँ है.
भाई इसको जॉन्डिस बोलते हैं अंग्रेजी में.
Anyway, folks, so we thank Navya Entertainment. Once again, Shadi Party ya Haldi Night, Navya Entertainment just makes it right for any party, for any celebration, for any milestone celebration in your life or someone that's so special in your life. Do contact Navya Entertainment. We thank you so very much for watching the show. And until we meet again, same place, same time, do take care of yourself. So long. Namaskar.
सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह.
Subhanallah.
बड़े मियाँ छोटे मियाँ
Subhanallah.